So my name is Bobby Banson, like B-O-B-B-Y. That's my name. When I'm speaking about police officers and their conduct, I cringe a bit because I'm a son of a police officer. Constitution is very clear that if you detain or arrest any person, immediately at the point of the arrest, not later, you must let the person know why. In fact, there are case law that are very express, that if you resist a purported arrest on the basis that you've not been told why you are being arrested, it is not resistance. It is not in itself a crime. So the fact that she was not told why she was arrested in itself is an offense. The fact that she was kept for more than 48 hours without being charged, without being brought to the court, without being told the reason why, is an abuse of the police powers of the officer who did that. And she can actually report to either PIPS. So the police has a unit called PIPS that investigates these excesses by police officers. It's like a disciplinary procedure. Or she can actually take a suit against the Ghana Police Service for breach of a fundamental human right, and she may be entitled to damages. I think that the personality of the person comes into play. If you are very strong-willed, you may be able to let the police know that you know exactly what you are doing. These days, it's easy to record for the purposes of evidence. If you pull out your phone that, hey, I'm recording everything so that tomorrow you don't go and say, I said, this is video evidence. If the police is wrong in what they are doing, they normally will back off or pull off. But if they also feel they are right, you resist, you go with them to the police station. There's always a superior officer. That's what I tell my client. It doesn't make, you don't get anything going back and forth with a police officer by the roadside. If they say that you ask them, which police station are you from? Let's go to the police station. There's always a superior officer who may dispassionately, because he was not involved when the thing happened, maybe like an arbiter sort of, listen to what has happened and then tell the officer that, listen, you didn't do. And there are some good police officers. I have had experiences where I have been wrongfully pulled over by police for an alleged traffic offense. I just followed the officer to the police station. When I get there, I say, I want to see the station officer. And I tell them, this is why he said he was pulled, but I didn't do anything. Or they listen and they say, okay, go later, we'll look at it. So you can always adopt that approach. At a checkpoint, it's difficult to have any legal justification to take the phone of a person because the court decided in the case that the police cannot open your phone without a court order because of the provisions of the, I think, Article 18 of privacy of correspondence. And so if a police stops you at a checkpoint, the police can only seize an asset that is the subject of a crime. So if you are having your phone and the police say that your phone has been used to commit a crime, the police can seize that phone from you, but the police cannot open the phone or ask you to give them the password unless they've gone for a court order. But if it's a random check, it means that there's no suspicion of having committed an offense. There's no way the police would say that we have a reason to suspect that your phone has been used to commit a crime merely because they are doing random checks. I would resist. I have resisted police, Yoko, trying to take phones from my clients and the police station and all of that. The court is very clear. And you go to national security, they say, leave your phone there. You come back, they say, no, we have to open, and those kind of things. They are all infractions of the Constitution. The Constitution reigns supreme, except that because one, the culture of silence, is the police, is the national security, just do what you want and walk away. And two, the fact that most of us do not really know what our rights are under the Constitution, under the Act 29 or Act 30, the Criminal and Other Offences Act, and then the Criminal Procedure Act as well. They must express, like I said, the powers for search under the Criminal Procedure Code is very clear. When you are suspected to have committed an offense. So if it's a random check and the police says, get out, we want to check your pocket, the police must tell you what they are looking for and that they suspect maybe you have drugs, in your pocket or you are having a weapon. They must let you know what they are looking for. And then you know that, okay, they suspect you have done A, B, C, D, which entitles them to conduct the search. But if they just stop you and tell you that we want to search, and then you have a right to insist. I mean, there are incidences where security agencies have allegedly put illegal substance on persons in traffic in the name of we're searching. They throw it in and it becomes something else. So you must insist that I want to know what you are asking for. And always these days, pull your phone and record what is happening. Yeah, it's for your own sake. It's for your own sake, yeah. If you paid for it fully, the seller gave you a receipt. There's something in equity that we call equity deems what ought to be done as done. And so once you have the receipt and you've been put in possession, if the seller did not sign an indenture, in terms of equity, you are the owner. But it will be in your own interest to get the seller to sign what they are calling an indenture. Or if the seller refuses to sign, you take out a writ in the court for an order of specific performance for the court to compel the seller to sign once you have paid, and then you have the receipt and the signature confirming that you have an equitable interest in the land. I won't say it is illegal. The reason I won't say it is illegal is that there's a demand and supply that operates in the landlord-tenant situation. The good thing for tenants is that our law was passed in 1962 or 1960s, the Rent Act. It has not been amended. That law was passed under a socialist regime and then ceased to protect tenants as if the landlords were superior and wanted to protect tenants. Now, that law says that even if your tenancy has expired and you continue to pay the rent as has been agreed, you are what they call a statutory tenant. So it is only a court that can eject you. Now, we also have that rent regulation that provides that if there is a dispute as to the rent payable, either the tenant or the landlord may apply for a rent assessor to come to the premises and assess the rent that is payable for that area. So it's like a valuation of the rent payable. So if you live there and the landlord says that I'm increasing it by 100%, and you think that that is unfair, because if you look at the area, how much rent is paid, you have a right under the law. You applied for a rent assessor, which is normally they are trained people that are still there. You apply for the rent assessor to do an assessment of the rent payable, and that assessment will be binding on the parties because it is by law. They do it on authority of law, so that you don't go back and forth with the landlord. You go to the rent assessor for him to come and assess the rent payable, and whatever he assesses to be payable is what it must be paid. Well, you know, it's a criminal offense to induce a tenant to vacate a premises. A lot of landlords do not know. A lot of tenants do not know. And so if you're a tenant and a landlord, because you've won a battle, they want you out. You wake up in the morning and they've unscrewed your door, or you know, those days you hear stuff, they've removed the roofing sheets from you can report to the police because it's a criminal offense. I mean, and the police would warn them. Normally we'll bond them to be of good behavior or prosecute them if they insist on towing that line. Well, Marie, the good news for you is that it's not law yet, because it's not been assented to by the president. Let's wait and see if the president will assent to it. Then it becomes law. Then I can tell you what the law says. As it stands now, the president has the right to request that part of it be amended before he signs. So let's not put the cart before the horse, like they say. When it becomes law, we can answer this question for her. It depends on the nature of investment and what the intentions of the parties are. our law matrimonial courses allow for breach of promise to marry. I did a case to the Supreme Court called Amasewa versus Hashimu, one of the newest cases on breach of promise to marry, where Professor Henry Tamensa Bonso outlined the ambit of this. And so the person claiming that, like, I have invested, must be able to demonstrate that you lost something relying on the promise of marriage. So, for example, if you go for dinner with your somebody you think you are going to marry, both of you enjoyed the dinner. And so you cannot come back and say that because you took her for dinner and she didn't marry you, there's breach of promise to marry. But if you had saved money to further your education, and then she tells you in many ways that I'm going to marry you, we are going to build a future together, I think it's better if you invest that money in my education so that when I get work, I can look at blah, blah, blah. And you put that money and later she finishes the school, or the normal case, you help her you help him. They say it's the men that are normally there. The women are the victims. So you help him travel abroad, you sell all your assets, maybe your family inheritance, buy her a ticket, help him get a visa. He gets there, then he writes you a letter that I don't have anything to do with you. You can go to court and say that you have lost your family inheritance pursuant to a promise to marry. And because there has been a breach of the promise, you want damages that will put you in a position that you were in before you gave that consideration. And so if the nature of the investment is such that you can prove that you have lost, it has been to your detriment and to the advantage of that person, and the only reason why you did that investment to your detriment was in expectation of a life forever together, and once that did not come to pass, you would have a course of action.
I guess in the end, boys have to collect receipts.
Well, boys, they were mine for day. So my name is Bobby Banson, like B-O-B-B-Y, it's my name. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. We'll come your way next time, and then send your questions. You can send them from today so you don't forget. They will gather all their questions, and whenever we have the opportunity to come your way again, we'll answer all your questions. Thank you very much for tuning in.